Attention. Go.
The start Alex has been talking about is absolutely crucial, and they've gone out strongly. This is where all the training that he's put in, the momentum, there he is in the bow seat. And the French crew veering very close. This is not helping them, very close.
No.
This is very close to the booms. They're just about, yes, they managed to avert disaster there, because that was looking very worrying. So no wonder they were so concerned off the start, really. But either way, they'll have lost themselves a bit of ground. But let's see where Oxford Brookes are. Actually, they haven't lost as much as you thought they might have done, although they're still perilously close to those booms. They really are. That is... Oh, yes, they've done it. And he's lost... Has he...
Now they're...
Oh, dear me, that's that. They've got it all wrong. And in the third last race, we were hoping to have a contest. You can see the shake of the heads from the French crew. That, I would have thought, has cost everything, because Alex Partridge and his crew have steamed on. They will not wait. They're well up the river, and any worries they might have had have been allayed, because having had a slightly worrying start, veering at one stage, they then managed to recover, but then lost it completely. And they can now move away from their Berkshire, so hugging so close. Let's watch the start again then, Sean. Just talk us through this.
Well, the French crew is not really French. There's two French, and the middle two are Serbians. So they're just rowing together for this race, and now there's a problem. The bowman is in the bow. He's actually steering the boat, so we can easily correct just by easing off. But once they get away, he just can't get away from the magnetism of the booms. It just draws you to it. Once you get nervous, it's hard to get the booms out of your mind. And now they go right back.
This is where it started to go horribly wrong, and you can see...
You can just see that the port side is stronger than the starboard, and it's just coming. There they are.
And meanwhile, the other crew, Alex Partridge and his crew, could see all that was happening unfolding just to their left. And here we see it again. The bowman actually looked across, didn't he, to see where they were. And that, whether that broke his concentration, but he could see now. You could look at him. He actually can see what's going on. They've made the mistake. They've got the angle all wrong. They've got the direction wrong, and they're in trouble. And it could have been a lot more painful, actually.
It could have been. They hit the booms and not the post. That's a shame. And the funny part is here, this race with the two crews is a real dog's breakfast, because you have Alan Partridge's crew.
Alex Partridge. If you say Alan Partridge, you'll be in trouble.
I know. He's a great comedian. I love him.
He's a comic character.
They're not related. They're not related.
You tell that to Alex. See what happens. Anyway, keep going.
But there's a Dutch pair that beat them a few weeks ago, and they said, let's row the four together, and here they are. So you have two Dutch, two English in the winning boat, and in the French boat you have
two Serbs,
two Serbs bracketed by two French. And of the Serbs, one of them rowed at the University of Washington. So there's about 10 countries with only 8 oarsmen.
That's the lure, the magnetism of Henley, but this is not the race that either crew would have wanted. In one way, I suppose, yes, Alex and his crew will say, well, that's great. But actually, again, going back to what we were saying, you don't want that. You want to have a contest. You want to be examined. You want to be tested, challenged.
You know, on Thursday, you don't want to be tested or challenged too much. But now they really have to settle down and make sure they get their rhythm, because sometimes winning an easy race sets you up for the fall the next day, because you can row disjointed. You can all be thinking about the other crew hitting the booms. We're easing off. You lose your rhythm.
So if you're their coach, how would you be, how happy would you be, how satisfied would you be with the way they're moving through the water?
Right now, I'd be very happy. I'd make sure they were taking a hard 20 final strokes, just to put some pressure on their legs. Again, have the boat finish as you'll start tomorrow morning, because you rarely get 2 boom shots in 2 consecutive days.
There isn't necessarily the remnant roar at the moment. That will come over the weekend. But we needed a close contest, and as we've said,
this was not it.
No, and this is the crew which will regret their steering. Their sense of direction just deserted them. And then maybe it was, interestingly, that side where so many of the crews I've talked to, and you have experience with it because you rode it, that it is quite disconcerting and disorienting almost. The darkness, being close there, the fact you want to move away but you can't, you're almost, as you say, magnetically drawn in.
You can't explain that feeling. You know the booms are there. You know you're coming home late after having a few beers. You know you're going to make noise on the stairs. You just can't help it. Your parents are going to hear you.
Well, they sure clattered those posts, but not necessarily the boom.
I mean, the French strokeman is a lightweight, so it's a nice combination of people. The bowman who was steering the French boat, he's actually a coach, so he's the most experienced member of the crew. Unfortunately, he had a bad day.
Yep, maybe too much on his plate. He did seem slightly anxious, I thought, beforehand. It was almost like, yes, we're ready, but were they really ready? Maybe the hand should just have stayed up. It's all very well. Again, it's the pressure at the start.
Now, if I was coaching that boat, considering that port side is stronger, I would not have Italian rigged it. You'd want to put your weaker side on the bow, just to give them that assistance of not having the port. I mean, if your port side is stronger, don't make it worse by having a tandem bucket. Easily said from the cheap seats where we're sitting.
Well, they're higher stroke rating, but well they might, because I think the leaders from Oxford Brookes, they will, as Sean has said, just be pacing themselves, and then for the last 20, 25, maybe 30 strokes, just go for it. Just have that sensation, that warm sensation, as you might say. Prepare them for what will be the trials for the coming days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
But it's a nice row for the Brookes crew. They don't train together. Obviously, two live in Holland, two live here. So it's a nice training practice to get some miles in without too much pressure.
The last strokes across the line, the race that ended almost as it started. So the crew from the Berkshire side have won, and the French-Serbian group, the four, there won't be too much entente cordiale. That went wrong way too soon.